Good evening. I'm Greg Floyd.
And I'm Liz Bishop. 7 upstate regions competing for a piece of $1.5 billion. Yeah, that's billion with a B.
It's a lot of money.
Yep.
7 would compete: the Capital Region, North Country, Mid-Hudson Valley, Mohawk Valley, Central New York, the Southern Tier, and the Finger Lakes. Only 3 would come away as winners.
And that's $500 million each from the state to the winning regions. Capitol correspondent Kimberly Howard following this for us tonight. Kimberly, I know some critics have had some fun with this, calling it an economic Hunger Games.
They do, and some lawmakers, because of that, are proposing that the $1.5 billion be divvied up equally to the 7 regions to not have this competitive game going on, or that each region gets something that they would base it all on need. Either way, local leaders want a piece of this pie, and even though this idea has yet to be approved by the legislature, they're not wasting any time advocating their ideas to improve their communities. Upstate New York is no stranger to competition. So after Governor Cuomo pitched yet another region against region race, local leaders are getting into it.
But we have to come up with new ideas that are really going to sustain things for the future.
Albany County Executive Dan McCoy is not a voting member of the local Economic Development Council, but he goes to all of their meetings. He's pushing the members to include a revitalization to the region's waterways in their final proposal.
The Hudson River, trying to, do growth, bring economic development to the water in tune. That turns around and brings, people into our cities, the shop, to have dinner. We are trying to do a hoppy and really sustain the farmers to grow hoppy so that, they can help the brewery. So there's things like that in the waterfront.
Then there's Rensselaer County, which is battling water woes.
Would I like to have the whole pot? Yes. Is it realistic? No.
But Rensselaer Mayor Dan Dwyer says the problems his city is facing are much like the problems elsewhere in the Capital Region.
We're just hoping that a formula has been reached where so much of that money is set aside for small cities like Rensselaer, Waterville.
The proposal is supposed to include ways to revitalize the region's economy. Whether infrastructure issues can be included in that plan is iffy, but city leaders say they can make a good argument when a large percentage of the pipes underground look like this.
We need to fix the problem to lure development so new development can connect to a clean new system.
And so just to give you a timeline on all this, the legislature has to approve the budget by April, and this money is part of that budget. The local Economic Development Council would then have until July 1st to come up with their final proposal, which would then be considered by a 5-member panel. Now, what they decide would be announced in the fall, but as we mentioned, the brainstorming for what that final proposal would include, that's all already gotten underway. Those meetings, by the way, are open to the public. Live in the Albany newsroom, Kimberly Howard, CBS 6 News.